Dihessa, do you think AI will replace coaches in the future? Yes or no? You can't say maybe, maybe not. You have to.
You mean I can't plead the fifth on this one?
No.
No, I don't think so, actually. As wonderful as AI may seem and be right now, and as much as, of course, even I use AI, like as much as we can lean on that, I feel like AI has its own limitation, right? Even now, like sometimes I really get annoyed with it. I'm like, yeah, you're giving me all these answers. It feels like it's just this machine that's grabbing all these different informations here and there and then putting it together. And then sometimes he will be like, well, you are completely right. This is a wonderful idea. And then right after when you like, no, you correct it, it's like, oh yeah, my mistake. It's like, you got it right. I mean, like, then how should I rely on you? It's like we can rely on it like to a certain extent, but at the same time, to some point, it can only do a little bit. I remember I was in Chicago recently, and there's this restaurant that we like going to, and we don't have that in our town here. So I was like, I'm in Chicago, I'm going to go to this restaurant. And then I am like, oh, like I'm going to use AI, I'm going to use ChatGPT. And I put the address, I didn't put the address, and I put in ChatGPT, can you share with me the closest restaurant? This and like, okay, you should go here. So we took the direction, we drove there, and there was no restaurant. Like that restaurant was not there. And I was like, okay, maybe it's not so, right? It's good for certain things, but at the end of the day, it also has its own limitation. And even if it didn't, here's actually the other thing, even if it didn't have its own limitation, as much as I like using AI, like I want to have interaction with another human being when I have a problem. When it's like AI is not having an experience. It's like when I was sharing earlier, when I, hire a coach or when a coach hires me, like when a client hires me, it's not about the information really. It's like some sort of transmission that happens along the way. And this transmission happens because of my experience that I have had and or that the other person has had. And when I talk about calibration, it's not about calibrating necessarily to information, but calibrating to the energy of the other person. And as far as I know, like you can, it's debatable if AI has energy or not. Like we can talk about that till the cows come. Like who knows what's going to happen? But at the end of the day, as powerful as AI may be, we are human beings, and there's a certain level of human interaction that I value, and a lot of people value. Actually, it's not just me. A lot of people value, and we can use AI, but at the same time, we can also be like, I want to work with a coach. I want to see the perspective, and not have to go back and forth and do all the things that we do in AI.
Do you think AI will change the coaching market?
I think it's already
And
changed the coaching market.
okay, talk to
Yeah.
me about that.
Yeah.
How
I think
how?
it's already because, for example, like if all you're giving, like in my opinion, if all you're giving is just information on like XYZ, like I have the access to that. Like let's get this clear. It's like I think it's already changed the coaching industry. If all there is to it is, because like in the past we were talking about like how the coaching industry has like lost credibility. One of the things in the past, I don't know if it's still happening, but that's a shame that it happened, right? And we all played a role in it. Um, when like sometimes it's like we just learn information from this coach and then we turn that into another course without really implementing it for ourselves, without integrating it for ourselves. And then like that went on and on and on and on, right? That I believe is no longer going to work, because if that's the case, we can just go to AI and then we can get that information. Right? But like if we go beyond that, if you go beyond that and go with like, oh, this is my experience, this is where I'm headed, this is what I'm doing, and this is what's happening as I'm doing this, it's completely different kind of ball game.
Do you think information is dead? Like information market is dead. Selling courses is dead.
I wouldn't
But
even say that because there can still be, yeah, courses that carry beyond just like generic information. You know what I mean? Yeah,
that's it. So
yeah.
the value in coaching is experience.
I believe so.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like here's what I truly believe. What I truly believe is the people who awaken more of their humanity, regardless of whether there is AI or no AI, will have the most impact. Because AI is a machine, right? What that cannot necessarily give you is, even though these days I hear that people get married to AI, I don't know how that's working, but right? But I feel like information alone, right? But human character, that's something completely different, right? And I feel like here's what I also feel like this is my sense. My sense is that we are having, because in the past we had to really like, can you imagine? I don't know how it is in France or in Switzerland or in Europe, but like I had to memorize so much information growing up, right? Like I had to memorize so much information, but I was quite the rebel actually. Like I swear, when I was a child, at the time there was no testing for autism or anything like that. I probably would have tested positive for autism or ADHD or something like that. Because intuitively, now I think about it, intuitively, I always knew that I don't want to put so much information in my brain. And so I was very selective about like what information I was memorizing. And I played these games where it's like well, like I calculated everything. I always did well. Like I calculated everything so that I didn't have to like memorize so much into my brain, but at the same time, I could manage to succeed. I could manage to pass the next class, pass the next class, pass the next class, right? And so, like for me, like it feels like we have entered so much information sometimes that is not needed. And for me, like when I look at AI, I'm like, oh, actually, that's quite refreshing. Like you don't need to memorize all that information anymore, right? But then, what is that doing? That means for me, when I look at it, gives our brain a potential for tapping into something else, not just memorizing something preset things, but allowing our brain to really open to something much bigger than what is already set for us. It can be good. It's like everything is what we make of it, right? It can be good, but if you decide that like all your courses you're just going to design all of them in AI, that will hurt you, in my opinion. Yes, so I felt into this trap and I realized it's actually making us dumber, right? Like even I was like, I'm going to rely on AI and it's going to do, and I use it. Right? I'm not going to say I don't use it, but I feel like it has to be used um smart, like in a smart way. Like that's something that can really help you in one way. But like if you if you're creating the your programs like the from scratch, from beginning to end with I think that's the problem. You know, like why would people pay you if it's all coming from AI? Do you understand what I mean? That's my opinion.
How do you use AI right now in your business?
I
For
use
what task?
a So, like, for what tasks? I use AI to generate ideas. Like, basically, I already have my idea on like what I want to do. Like, I'll give it all the information of what I want to do, and then I'll use it to expand it.
Oh, wow.
I'll
Okay.
use it to expand it to be like, oh, what else is possible with this, right? And then if anything interests me, then I'll pick here and there. If not, I move on. Yeah. Yeah, because
Okay.
honestly, I feel like AI can be really hurtful. Actually, right? It's like sometimes it's almost like we are surrendering our kind of like our power, our inner voice, our to it. Because I've also seen many times AI has been wrong. ChatGPT has been wrong many times. I'm like, okay, let's think about this. Let's rethink about this. There are certain keywords that it uses all the time, and I'm like, no, I don't like that word. And actually, for me, I'm really pulling more back now. Like I got into the space where I was like, okay, AI is good, but I feel like it's killing my creativity. Like you know what I mean? It's like
Mm-hmm.
it can do that, and then I'm like, no. Uh, and what happens when that happens is that everybody just sounds the same. Which brings us to the other thing is like people are craving more humanity. People are craving more of that side of who we are. And I feel like right now we're just in this phase where like AI is brand new. We're really blown away by it, and then we'll discover the limitations of it. I think we already all are discovering the limitations of it. And at the end of the day, like it's the human that created AI. Let's not forget that.
And you saw that with your retreats. People are
Yeah.
craving real life events. Like they
Yes.
want to see you, and
Yes.
your retreat was already full, like very
Yes.
quick. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Interaction. Yeah. With other people. Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm.
But do you think AI will lower the price of coaching overall?
Again, you get to decide. I mean, it's like if you value somebody's energy, you value being in somebody. It's like it's for me. There's not even like a question about it. It's like people pay what they want to pay when they want to pay for it, AI or no AI. And then there will be some people who will be like, well, I'm going to use AI for this and this. And then I think eventually they will find out that AI has its own limitation. And then, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't even equate, in my opinion. That's my opinion. It has nothing to do with each other. Actually goes back to what I was saying earlier. If what you're selling, because like fitness coaching, for example, if all that is included is information, like how many calories do I want to eat, and if that's all that they're coming to you for, then of course, because they can get that information there. But if there's something more to that, right? If there's something more like something that you experience, like I can think of one right now. Like for me, like I can always go back to I want to lose weight because maybe it will like where I'm headed is okay. Let's go back. Let's pretend like spiritual growth, for example. I'm taking care of my body, but the whole purpose of taking care of my body is because of where I'm headed, the value that I'm bringing. And these are like some of the things that I'm doing along the way, right? In that situation, it's then no longer just information. It is information plus the experience of the person who's guiding you through a certain direction. And if that's the case, then I don't think it matters. AI or no AI. That's just my opinion as well. We shall see.
We'll see. But
Yeah,
I like it because
yeah.
experience will be so much more valued.
Yes, I
We will
agree.
so, and
Yeah,
I love that.